Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Venky's Limited Q2 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by ICICI Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anirudh Joshi from ICICI Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Stanford. On behalf of ICICI Securities, we welcome you all to Q2 FY22 results conference call of Venky's India Limited. We have with us today Mr. N.K. Toshniwal, General Manager from Oilseed segment, Dr. Vijay Tizari, General Manager from Poultry segment, Dr. P.G. Pedgaonkar from Poultry segment, Mr. Deepak Khosla, General Manager of AHP segment, Mr. J.K. Handa, Chief Finance Officer, and Mr. Rohan Bhagwat, Company Secretary. Now I hand over the call to the management for their initial comments on the quarterly performance as well as half-yearly performance. Then we will open the floor for question and answer session. Thanks, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome. I am Jeevan Handa, CFO. Once again, I am pleased to interact with all of you on the Venky's earnings call. I hope you have gone through the results and the information to investors. Venky's has registered satisfactory performance for the quarter ended 30th September 21 in spite of challenges in the form of high feed costs. Though the sales turnover has gone up by 40% as compared to the quarter ended September 2020, the profit was lower due to steep increase in the soya price. The average soya price was approximately rupees 83.97 per kg during the quarter ended as compared to rupees 36 per kg for the quarter ended September 2020. For the first quarter ended June 21, the average price of soya was rupees 64.35 per kg. However, the extreme hike per kg cost was 105 during the year until September 21. After the permission given by the Government of India to import soya meal, the prices of soya meal have started coming down, and as on date, it is quoting around 48 rupees per kg. We hope that the price should settle down around this present level, barring unforeseen circumstances. I would like to bring to your attention one important phenomena relating to poultry industry. The announcement of pandemic situation in March 2020, the poultry industry has been regularly facing several challenges like sudden and severe drop in realization for day-old chicks and broiler birds, disturbance in supplies due to inconsistent lockdown measures by the state government, outbreak of bird flu in January 21, as also steep rise in soya prices. As such, after all these setbacks, the poultry industry is slowly getting back to its normal business trend. We hope that the coming quarters will bring some stability to the industry. More on this may be explained by Dr. P.G. Pedgaonkar when questions on poultry segment performance come up. With this briefing on the financial performance, we now would like to answer your questions. You may please go ahead with your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star then one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star then two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, please press star, then 1. The first question is from the line of Akshay Satija from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thank you so much for the opportunity. If you could please share the volume numbers of broilers and layers sold for the first half.
Sorry, come again, please.
If you could share the broilers and layer numbers, volume first half.
First half, okay, September 21.
First half of 22.
Yeah. During the first quarter ended September 21, we sold 5 crore 79 lakh broilers, 5 lakh 67,086,869. 5 crore 67 lakh broiler layer chicks, and layer chicks 2 crore 98 lakh chicks. In against previous quarter is of 1 crore 44 lakh chicks.
Okay, got it. Thank you. If you could also share what quantity of processed food did we share in terms of tons?
For processed chicken, it was 20 lakh 10,780 kg was sold in April this quarter, this half year, whereas last year it was 12 lakh 6,000.
Okay, got it. That's it from me. Thank you. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Dhruv Kashyap from Mart. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. My first question was on this entire steep increase in the input cost of soya seed. Now, my understanding is that we also use our own internal captive soya seed, which is sort of comes to us from the 3 units that we have, and it's sort of a byproduct. So, if we have our own captive, are we that impacted by the external prices prevailing? And as a follow-up to that itself, if you could just repeat what were the prices in June quarter, what were the prices in September quarter, and what are the prices prevailing today? Because your voice wasn't very clear when you said it in the opening remarks. Thanks.
See, we have the 3 plants for our captive consumption, but again, these are all related to market forces because this plant also have to buy the soya seed from the open market only, which is again a market driven. And this year was one of the very challenging area in the recent past because the one thing is speculative at the indexes and at the exchange. And second thing, the crop was also very less because of the last year's rains were not very regular. So it was a challenging year. Last year around that prices were around 45 or 50 rupees a kg, but this year it went up to 105 rupees a kg. And presently the prices are between 42, 43 rupees a kg, and we expect that for next few months the same prices are likely to prevail upon.
Okay, so you're saying in the first and the second quarter it peaked and now hopefully it's fallen off the peak and it's somewhere between 40 and 40.
Yes.
And likely to remain there for the next few months, hopefully.
Yes. This year the crop seems to be quite better than the past. So I think things will be better.
So hopefully the margin picture from Q3 and Q4, which is also very big volume periods for Venky's, hopefully the margin picture should look a lot better.
Yes, definitely.
So my second question is that is Venky's Express both the company owned and the franchise model, is it profitable?
Yes, it is, because there are 2 sectors now, as you have rightly said. Venky's Express is a company-owned business where we have a different range of products which we offer to the customers. And along with that, we also offer them the retail products of Venky's. And Venky's Chicken Experience, we have almost 44 franchisees right now all over. And all these franchisees are operating in as a Venky's Chicken Experience, and definitely they are profitable. That's the reason they are also growing. And now the growth would be much better compared to last pandemic. There was a little slowdown in the growth, but we expect this good growth in North India and in Maharashtra and all over.
So my last and final question is with regards to the consumer-facing part of the overall Venky's India P&L. Is that would you be able to share with me that what percentage of the total business is consumer-facing?
Dr. Tedigaonkar?
So what is the B2C component of the total P&L? So if you sell eggs directly, or if you sell broiler chickens to consumers, or consumers buy these, snacks and seekh kebabs and ready-to-eat butter chicken. So the overall consumer part of your business, what's the contribution of the B2C part of the business?
Actually, now we had to bifurcate the business in two sectors. One is a part of a business where we directly sell the live broilers to the consumers or through the trader. That is one sector. Another sector is a processed food business, and that processed food business is around 10% of poultry and poultry processing.
So that's what I meant. So the branded part of the business where there's a Venky stamped and sold to the consumer, what is the direct or the consumer-facing part of the overall P&L?
So it will be around 5% of the total business.
So that means there's a huge space to grow here, because wouldn't your brand building, your ability to command a premium, higher margins, higher realizations come when the consumer buys it, right? So isn't that a focus area to grow and really make Venky's a big household brand?
Yeah, definitely there is a good scope, and we are all tuned up for the same. What we had experienced during a pandemic, the slowdown on the retail side will be definitely picked up, and we expect that the coming next 2 quarters will be better on that part, because the restaurants are opening, the retail stores which were blocked, the malls which were closed down, all are getting released gradually in step by steps from last 2 months. So that will definitely benefit us.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for taking my questions, and all the very best for Q3 and Q4. Cheers.
Thank you. Participants who would like to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The next question is...
So Aniruddha here. I have some questions. So basically, in terms of, you just said that the B2C part of the business is just 5%. So, I guess the B2C part, I guess the questionnaire mentioned probably was looking at as the product which is sold directly to the consumer. So, I guess that portion, Venky's is a fairly well-known brand. So, is the 5% number in a way? I guess probably you are estimating that, or it might be pretty high, because a large part of the consumers do buy directly Venky's products for final consumption. So it might be through the distributor, retailer, but it's a fairly well-known brand. So on that account, so I guess that is one question. And also, if it is really true 5%, then what are the plans of the company to in a way increase the B2C revenue share going forward? Because it's a very extremely well-known brand, and I guess you have a good amount of distribution network also, plus one of the largest poultry company in India. So you have in terms of backward integration as well. So net, the company has got all the right ingredients to in a way create a huge business of B2C products. So what are the plans that you are working on over the next 2 to 3 years? Or do you see the revenue share of B2C products remaining in single digits only?
Okay, thanks for this question. Let me clarify what answer Dr. Tizare has given about this 5% of the total turnover. See, if you see the growth of Venky's from last 2 to 3 years, you will see that the top line growth has come basically from soya segment, because of which the turnover of Venky's has gone up. So when we say 5%, it is 5% of the present turnover of the company, and because of which it looks less. However, in absolute term, if you see, the growth of Venky's processing segment is consistently continuing. So if you are talking only why it is 5%, the question gets answered that the total overall growth of poultry as well as oilseed segment, which has come in Venky's in past 2 years, if you see that the maximum growth has come from one, poultry segment as a live bird, poultry segment as a chick cell, and third is the oilseed segment, because of which the other segment of Venky's has grown too fast, because of which this 5% looks bit less. However, as Dr. Tizare says that in future there is a good scope for growing this particular business, and we expect that this growth will be at par with other processing segment which are coming up, and definitely it will be a leading brand. Hope this question gets answered.
Yes, this is helpful, sir. So, and last question, the industry suffered a lot in past 18 months. One, there was a COVID wave 1, then while the situation was improving, then again the bird flu in a way impacted the industry. Then again COVID wave 2 came, again it impacted the industry. So so far, means how do you see the situation as far as the consumption is concerned now in both, so that is HoReCa segment also as well as to the retail or the consumer level consumption also? Yeah, that's it.
See, as I explained to you earlier, that pandemic is now getting over, and hopefully now the consumers started moving into the market. Consumers are out of the houses, and there is a good buying, and whatever this. And another thing is, in addition to that, we have usually meat consumption is little low in the quarter 2, and we expect good consumption in the coming quarters. So now this is a season. Now winter is also setting up. With the winter setting, the consumption of protein and protein per se, and the chicken consumption, non-veg consumption, this is a healthy season. So I think we can expect good consumption pattern over here. In addition to that, HoReCa sector, you had asked specifically for HoReCa sectors, all hotels and restaurants are open in practically almost all over India. When these stores, restaurants and hotels are open, and government has also allowed for the various functions, including the marriages and private parties, to be operated in a public places or the private places, this will definitely give a good boost to the business, and we are hopeful for that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kaushik Poddar from KB Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
I just like to find out what is the realization that how is the realization over the quarters, and what is the realization right now?
The realization from broiler.
Yes, that's what I want. Yes.
Broiler chick is to the tune of 24 rupees during first half year. For the layer,
coming in on the this thing number, please.
24 rupees per bird, whereas the layer chick, it is 38 rupees per bird. In regard to the live bird, it is 90 rupees per bird, 90 rupees per kg, not bird, in case of live bird. So these are the three, broiler chick, layer chick, and live bird. Realization.
Right now for the broiler, it is 90 rupees per kg, is it?
90 rupees is an average of the first 6 months. Though I know as of current, it varies in the west zone as well in the north zone. In the north zone, it is on the low side because of this September was a festival quarter. So average was on the low side, to the extent of 82 rupees 30 paisa.
How much again?
82 rupees 30 paisa during the September quarter.
Okay. Okay. And right now it is around 90, you are saying, or I didn't get it.
90, if you see from April to September, the 90 rupees per kg is for the company as a whole. If you see the current period as of today, then the northern prices are down because of the festival period, and for September quarter only, that is July, August, September, the average realization is 82 rupees 30 paisa.
Okay. And do you see it going up over the winter months?
Yes, absolutely. From here onward, after this Dashera or Diwali, when festival period is more or less ended, like Ganesh Chaturthi and all, then season is getting picked up as Dr. Tijare has explained. So from here onward till March, April, the prices shall be very good.
Okay. During the festival season, there is less of chicken consumption, is it?
Yeah, that makes the price realization affected.
Okay.
Bihar, even the rainy season is also affected, as well as Chhath Puja. Still one festival left out, Chhath Puja after Diwali. The prices may little on the lower side, and then thereafter it will go up and up till March, April.
Okay. And as far as the oilseed division goes, for the quarter ended June, the profit was around 59 crores. I'm talking of segmental profits. And for the last quarter, it's around 25 crores. That's a very sharp drop. I mean, how do you see it panning out for the next 2 quarters? I'm talking the oilseed division.
This oilseed, during first quarter, we have booked the inventory profits. Because the prices are shot up like anything, so whatever inventory we are writing, we had NCS profit. So that is why the profit for first quarter was very good. And second quarter is also, if you compare to the last year, it has been good. And next 2 quarters also, we expect that it will be doing better.
But will there be any inventory loss as such because the prices have fallen?
Oh, no inventory losses. We have booked the profit, so question of loss doesn't come because we are not holding inventory.
So the profit will be around 25 crores per quarter. That's what you're looking to?
No, I look for more.
Okay. Thank you. And this SPF plant, what kind of capacity utilization it has operated, and what's the capacity utilization you are looking for the next 2 quarters?
The total capacity of the SPF production is to the extent of 148 lakh annually. Whereas April to September, the production was almost 53 lakh eggs, and the utilization was to the extent of 49%.
Okay. And how is for the next 2 quarters?
It will be, on the similar lines, rather that there will be an increase in the utilization.
Can it go up to say 70% as against 49% for the first 2 quarters?
It may not be 70, but it is somewhere around 60. From 49 it will go up to 60% in the next quarter.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kalpesh Gothi from Valentis Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So my question related to your, can you throw some light on your future expansion plan, especially in the soya segment?
See, right now, we have already started the third plant at the Srirampur. We would like it to settle it down for next at least few months and see that how does it go. Because the COVID, things have not been pretty good in the past 6 months. But now things are picking up. So maybe after March or this thing, we'll think about the future expansion in that line.
Okay. So you said your soya price is picked at 105, and now it's back to 40, 45.
Yes.
So can you share what was the average cost for us in Q2?
Q2 actually the average price of Q2 was around 76 to 80 rupees.
Okay. So do we expect in Q3 will be average around 45?
Yes, it will be average 45 for the first Q3.
Okay.
It could be even a little lower.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pranjal Garg from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I have a few questions. First of all, like in the past 18 months, we have seen so much disruption in the industry. So have we noticed any organized sector gains from unorganized market? That is my first question. Hello.
Yes, I got your question. Your question is whether some share from unorganized sector has come to organized sector because of the disruption what has happened in past. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this actually happens because whenever some kind of economical turbulence happens in poultry, the first sector to get affected is an unorganized sector. And eventually that unorganized sector are sometimes small or medium farms, which sometimes seasonally prefer to get attached with the organized player. And this has been happening in industry from past few years. And the same trend we have seen post-COVID, that some portion of unorganized sector share has gone to organized sector share, and because of which the percentage of organized has gone up compared to unorganized, which was there up to 1920. It has changed from 2021 and likely to be the same in 21-22 also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you highlight approximately what percentage is organized now?
If you talk on all India basis, usually the percentage goes to 65-35. 65% are organized. When we say organized, it's not purely a corporate sector or a company, but it's purely even a professional farmer also who is doing his business in a very organized way and professional way. He also is considered as an organized farmer. So when we say organized, 65% are organized farmers and 35% are unorganized. When we say unorganized, basically they are unorganized only on the part of consistency and continuation in the placement. In case of organized sector, we expect that the consistency of placement is there, and in case of unorganized 35%, there is inconsistency in placement, or they prefer to be a seasonal farmer. So presently all India basis it's 65-35. 65 organized, 35 unorganized.
Okay, sir. Sir, my follow-up question is, then if 65% is held with organized sector, approximately what market share Venky's control?
See, Venky's is operating in a specific regions. When we talk of all India basis, I have given you a picture of all India 65%. When you are talking of Venky's, Venky's operates in a northern area and a part of west zone. So these are the two areas, but when we talk all India basis, there are east zone, south zone, so other zones are also there. So the percentage may differ if you are talking on zone to zone basis. Because if you talk of northern India, then northern India unorganized sector is approximately 40 to 45% and rest is organized sector. When you talk of south, almost 80-85% is organized sector and 10-15% is unorganized sector. So region to region, there is a variation in percentage of organized and unorganized percentage.
Okay. Sir, can you help us with the revenue breakup region-wise or state-wise?
Yeah, it's not available right now, but it can be sent on your mail ID if you want it on a specific region-wise.
Yes, sir. That will be really helpful, sir.
Sure.
Sir, I have two more questions, if I may. First one being, Venky is, as you highlighted, is present in 44 franchisees right now. So, have we added any new franchise in half year FY22, and what are the plans going forward about its expansion?
So the franchisee business, we had 44 and we are increasing it continuously, and we are lined up and we are working on some more franchisees, and we expect that we should be adding by end of the year another 50 franchisee operations in the North and Maharashtra basically.
Another 50?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, my last question is, as you highlighted, realizations have improved, but due to steep rise in prices in input inflation, margins have dented. So have you taken any other initiatives as well, like change in trade margin or any other actions?
See, cost competency and reduction of the cost is a continuous phenomena. So whether it's increase prices of input cost or reduce realization, this phenomena is a continuous process. But when we talk of last 6 months, you have seen that there was an abnormal increase in input cost, particularly contributed because of soya, and because of which cost of production has gone up. But when cost of production has gone up, realization is expected to go up in a proportion. However, realization do not go up the way in which cost of production goes up abnormally. So if you see first 6 months, your cost of production has abnormally increased, whereas realization also has increased, but it was not to that extent what input cost has increased. So we usually take all the measures which are required to make sure that the business runs in a profit, and it should match to our cost of production. But when your feed component is more than 70%, the increase of contribution is from 70% segment, and you have other sources which are available to reduce the cost or to take care, that is 30%. So there is always limitation. When 70% goes up abnormally, this 30% may not compensate the abnormal increase of 70% segment.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. That was really helpful. In case I have any other query, I will get back into the queue again.
Thank you. Participants who would like to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Dhruv Kashyap from Mart. Please go ahead.
Hi, just a couple of follow-ups I had, so I came back in the queue. The first one is that for a company like Venky's, one of the main hypotheses would be that India historically and even till today is largely a protein consuming deficient nation. I mean, largely because we were an emerging country, we've been meeting most of our daily calorie or energy requirement from cereals and carbohydrates. Going forward, what kind of interventions or support or activities that you plan to do, would you be able to include a lot more of protein in the daily consuming basket of the average Indian? And that will obviously be helped by the tailwind of increasing incomes as well. So, I mean, for example, is there a large-scale government tie-up or intervention in terms of midday meals, providing eggs to kids, or would it be that what Venky's does on its own? So I'm just trying to get a flavor of how do we start moving the needle on Indians consuming more protein, which will directly benefit Venky's, which is in chicken and egg.
Very interesting question. Actually, if you see, we always compare India with US and China. What US and China was from 1970 till 2010. Actually, their economy has grown and simultaneously protein consumption also has grown. So once upon a time when they were at X, they have gone to X into 10 times today. So this particular growth comes whenever your per capita income grows. The first thing what grows is a protein consumption, and that's what we are seeing from 2010-11 onwards in India also. So the way in which Indian economy is growing and the way in which per capita income is growing, we are expecting that the things which will get boost is a protein consumption. And if you talk of cost competency of protein with available protein basket in India, you will see that eggs and chicken is always a cost component, always has got a benefit of a cost component, wherein you have got a lowest cost of per unit protein in terms of eggs and chicken. In terms of egg, it is 85 to 90 paisa per unit cost of protein, and in case of chicken, it is around 70 to 75 paisa. So if you compare any nearby protein source which comes, that definitely is 2 times costlier than eggs and chicken. So we expect in coming years, the pie share of chicken and eggs in terms of protein basket will go up, which at present, in case of chicken, is around 51% in India, 51% is contribution by chicken, and rest is with other like mutton is there, fish is there. So all other contributes around 50%. But chicken has got a maximum scope, and we expect this pie to be consumed around 60 to 65% by chicken, and rest will come 30-35%. In terms of eggs, of course, a lot of effort has been taken by associations, lot of effort has been taken by organizations like NECC and organization and corporates like Venky's to make sure that eggs will get incorporated in midday meal scheme and overall consumption will boost. Because of which, if you see in 2000 and compared to 2020, the growth of eggs is around 300% and growth of chicken is around 400%. The nearest growth was in terms of milk and in terms of fruits, which was around 150 to 160%. So we are hopeful that coming decade will be dominated by protein, and in that domination, chicken and eggs will play a very important role, and we are working on that. Thanks for your question.
And so my second and my sort of last follow-up question is that, see, one of the issues, sir, with Venky's has always been, both from a company or an investor standpoint, is the extreme volatility in the P&L and the balance sheet. So if you go back to 2007, Venky's touched 200 crores profit after tax for the first time. In 2018-19, it came down to 100 odd crores, so profits halved. In 2019-20, it actually made a loss of 100 odd crores. Then 2020-21 went back to 268 crores. So far, it's looking flattish in 2021-22. I think how would an investor or anybody make a hypothesis to invest in such a volatile company, because the value of the asset can literally halve or double in 1 year's time. So how do you address this concern of investors that the earnings are just too volatile to be able to have a cogent investment hypothesis?
Actually, we are equally concerned what you have pointed out and you have questioned. But if you see the kind of work Venky's has done in last 2 to 3 years, you will see that the volatile segment has in percentage slowly coming down, and non-volatile segment in percentage has gone up. Because of which you could see that had it been a case of such a steep increase of soya price in 2016, 17 or 18, you would not have got this kind of profitability. When I compare a overall poultry industry first 6 months, and when we compare Venky's in first 6 months, you will see that most of the poultry, whether it's organized or unorganized, they have recorded and reported loss in first half year, whereas in case of Venky's has reported profit in first half year. So that itself is an indication that Venky's has balanced their portfolio in such a way that they are having a combination of hatching egg sale, chick sale, layer chick sale, broiler grown-up birds. In addition to this, there is an animal feed, there is an animal health segment, there is oil seed segment, SPF segment, and a processed chicken segment. Put together, you will see that there is a complete balancing of the portfolio, and because of this balancing, we could see that the volatility and overall, earlier what volatility has been seen in Venky's, that may not be the case today, and we are expecting that in future, the overall other segments will play an important role wherein this volatility will drastically come down.
So as a follow-up before I sign off, sir, is that I think the biggest way to reduce volatility is to get a significant increase in your branded consumer-facing business, because ultimately all businesses want to move towards a larger share of branded consumer selling or consumer-facing products. And that's where I guess your ability to charge top dollar in terms of realization, margins, advertising, building a brand. I mean, isn't that what all of us aspire to do? We all aspire to build a brand and create a legacy through that. So I think Venky's, is, I think one of the participants earlier said that it's a brand with a great share of mind, but a significantly lesser share of wallet. So you need to bridge that gap by, getting consumers to really make your products more available, make them more visible, advertise them more, and probably have a much higher product portfolio. Maybe Venky's Express needs to have a model where the product is delivered to the consumers' homes through Zomato and Swiggy, and not just wait for people to come there, because in lockdowns anyways people are not coming there. So I think a lot of work needs to be done on the consumer brand building part of the business, because that's where the real value gets unlocked for the company. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Agreed. Thanks for your suggestion, and we definitely will take a note of this, and you already echoed what our thought process is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and all the very best.
Thank you. Participants to ask a question. Sure, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, sir, Aniruddha here. Sir, 2-3 questions from my side. Sir, we have seen literally multiple QSRs getting listed in the market. So almost 6-7 are listed, and there are as many in the unlisted space too. So QSRs are growing at a nominal rate, and so how much Venky's is going to benefit from this increase in QSRs? Because most of them are having aggressive store rollout plans. So obviously they will look for a partner who can supply the basic ingredients like chicken or eggs, etc. at a good quality and on a sustainable basis. So obviously Venky scores very heavily on that. So what is the plan over there? And also, how do you which are the customers that we are catering to also, if you can share that?
Yeah, one of the portfolio in our chicken processing plants is from the sector is a QSR. So we talked some time back about the HoReCa sector, but QSR is also one of the dominant players. Now there are various QSR which are already we are supplying to them. To name few of them is McDonald's, then we are suppliers to KFC, Pizza Hut, and all these QSRs. There is a list of QSRs. Practically all QSRs or majority of the QSRs, we are the prominent suppliers. And we are aware that there are so many other QSRs which are also coming to India, and we are in contact with those QSRs, and for the confidentiality agreement, we cannot disclose all the details and their expansion plans. But we are in contact with them, and we are working with them for the development of the products. And soon you can see our products with these QSRs.
Okay, sure, sir. So in terms of B2B business, can you share the names of the maybe key customers, or at least can you share that if any customer accounts for more than 5% or 10% of revenues? Means basically, is there a very high skewness of revenues towards one customer, or the business is well spread across customers?
So in B2B sector, we have tie-ups with one is a QSR sector, and we have tie-up also with certain retail chains. Now that retail chains who are working, one is a Walmart. Now then we had already tie-up with Big Bazaar. So these are the retail chains. Almost all the retail chains we are catering to.
Okay, sir. Last question from my side. Some years ago, Venky did a product like health food drink, and it was a high protein diet, etc. But post that, we have not seen any further development on that front, or we have not yet seen any other products also being introduced by the company. So if you can share what was the learnings from that, and can we see further progress, and when can we see further progress on such general consumption products?
You're talking about health food drink, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was not under Venky's. It was a private group company.
Oh, okay. So it was not through the listed entity.
No.
Oh,
that business is not taken by Venky.
Okay, sure, sir. So that was my question. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritvik Rai from ritvik.rai.com. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I had two questions. One is if you could give me the corn price trends for the past 3-4 quarters, and if you could give me what your outlook is on those.
Yes, as far as corn prices are concerned, if you see, the corn prices are quite stable. For this, I will take you to the FY 2021. For FY 2021, the overall price of maize was around 14 rupees 50 paisa to 15 rupees in between. If you talk of first quarter, our average maize price was 17 rupees. And if you talk of present second quarter, the average maize price is around 20 rupees. So this is at par with what MSP government has declared. So MSP is around 1850 and we are having around 20 rupees present maize price purchase. But if you talk first half year, it's 18 rupees 50 paisa, which is exactly near to MSP. That's a corn outlook present. We expect the same to continue with a minor change of 5-10% as far as prices are concerned.
Got it. Got it. And sir, many participants have raised this, and you've also said that this echoes your sentiment. Do you have any plans to share on how you intend to increase your direct sales to consumers in the coming quarters and years? Any plans that you can share? Any ideas that you have?
So the model of business what we adopted is for the supply of chilled and frozen products to the consumers, and one is to the consumers through HoReCa sectors and also to the QSR sectors. Now in pandemic there are some new upcomings of business models which are coming up for the direct supply from the processing or the secondary processing house to the consumers, and we are watching that how we can adopt that business or what we are studying on that. But presently, what business model what we adopted right now is the supply of chilled and frozen products through the distribution channel, which can be our or HoReCa sector or QSR sector.
Okay, so currently you would be focusing more on HoReCa and QSR sectors rather than.
Also the retail is a distribution chain which is already for the branded products, and we are almost in all A-grade cities and the B-grade cities of India and we had appointed various distribution centers and proper cold rooms, and we ensure that good cold chain is maintained for the products to reach before they reaches to the consumer. So we are doing already.
All right, sir. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pranjal Garg from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
So thanks for the opportunity again. Sir, I have a follow-up question regarding that franchisee expansion plans. Sir, can you help us with approximately revenue per franchisee in the franchises we are already present in? So the reason I'm asking is that we want to have some idea that what kind of growth can be driven by the new 50 franchises that will be added by the company.
We can definitely share that all the details to you on this franchisee model what we have adopted. So if you can share your email ID, we can send that all the details to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, my email ID I can just tell you right now. It is pranjal.garg.
PRANJAL.garg.
Garg, G-A-R-G, Garg, @ICICIsecurities.com.
Perfect. Thank you. We are noted.
Sir, just two more questions. What are our capex plans for the next 2-3 years?
Yes. In the next 2 years, already we had 2 projects which was completed and put on the production. Those capacities are still to be utilized fully. But in 21-22, the remaining part of 6 months, we will be having the existing unit capital expenditure. No major expenditure is there. Maximum capital expenditure may be to the extent of 25 crore rupees, but for the existing units. In the next year, 22-23, the total expenditure is to the extent of 60 crore, but again it is for the existing unit, poultry as well as AHP, and no major plan as such shall be taken up because we have sufficient capacity take up in the next year.
Okay. Sir, my last question is, what is the percentage of exports business in the total sales of the company? And do we have any plans for exporting the exports business? For expanding the exports business.
Total exports which was made during this year as well as the last year to the extent of 2 crore 36 lakh rupees. That's not the major component if you see in the total turnover, because there was some problem due to the bird flu as well as the pandemic. So exports were not much. Export was only related to the SPSX business segment only. So that was also to the earlier it was to 3-4 countries, but now it is to 1 or 2 countries. Hopefully, after the tag of bird flu, things may start improving.
Okay. Sir, is there any particular number that we want to achieve? Would you like to share any such number in next 4 or 5 years?
The next 6 months time, whatever the numbers in April to September, which is to the extent of 2.36 crores, it will be straight by double, subject the approvals and regulations are in order from the government India side because of the bird flu and all.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anirudh Joshi for closing comments.
Yeah, thanks, Stanford. On behalf of ICICI Securities, we thank all the participants for their patient listening and the question and answer session. We thank the management of Venky's also for the insightful answers to the investors and analyst queries and enlightening the investor community with the information. Now I hand over the call to the management for the closing comments, and I wish all the participants as well as the management a very, very happy Diwali. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anirudh. I thank all the investors for their effective question answer session, and I wish all a happy Diwali. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.